Hi, incoming 6th grade parents and students. I'm Mr. Souza, the principal of Day Middle School.
And I'm Mrs. Tupo, I'm the assistant principal.
We want to welcome you to our school, and we hope that this video you're going to watch will provide much of the information that you will need for you to be successful next year when you come to our school and become defenders. Just so you know, we do plan on having a tour for 6th grade students when we return from vacation this summer. So we hope that this video will kind of bridge that gap and that you will be able to learn more about the school and that you will be a great success and live up to our Defender pride. We look forward to seeing you in the coming year.
James L. Day Middle School was actually named after Medal of Honor winner, Major General James L. Day, and we try to follow his namesake in the way we conduct ourselves on our campus, honorably and with great respect. If you'd like to learn more about General James L. Day, you can go onto the website and type in his name and find out how he earned his Medal of Honor citation. I don't think any of you need this slide to know exactly where you are, but this is where you'll be 5 days a week for the next school year, and we hope it's a great experience for all of you. Our mission statement is to provide high-quality instruction and student achievement through the acronym of PRIDE, which is Positive, Respectful Individuals Determined to Excel. That's our school mission, and we want you to be an integral part of achieving that mission statement. Parents, you're invited to be a part of our school and make connections through our PTSA. It's a strong organization that supports our school, and we welcome your involvement. Middle school is a little different from elementary school. We do not have parents come on campus and really help in classrooms very often. If they do, it's by invitation from the teacher. But one way to stay connected is through our PTSA. We have a lot of activities at our school. Student involvement ranges from clubs and teams to student groups. All the sports teams that are associated with our school name are run by outside organizations and do not have anything to do really with our school except they use our students and our school name. Other ways that your child can get involved is through events like ASB and student council, peer tutors, peer buddies, and various clubs. And those clubs do change depending on teacher support throughout the course of each year. I'm very proud that we have such a strong student council and leadership here run by Mrs. Fry. Our ASB students do enormous things for our school and make this school a welcoming place for everybody. One of the ways we communicate at our school is through our website. We do keep our website up to date and put information on there for you to access and so that you know what's going on around our campus. It's a great way to see the events that are occurring. Another way to do that is through Instagram, run by Mrs. Fry. She has a dms.asb, and that Instagram account does specify the activities that are happening on campus as well as pictures of events that have occurred. So make sure you're following dms.asb. Even though you're already in the district, each year parents are required to follow the enrollment registration, and that's available on the school district website. Not necessarily our page particularly, but the school district, you'll see a link about enrollment and registration. And so even though you're in the district, each year you do have to re-register and provide proofs of residency. At Day Middle School, we have an exploratory wheel. The wheel includes art, keyboarding, health, music appreciation, intro to drama. Each class is 9 weeks long, and as 6th graders, generally, students are scheduled into these classes and they rotate through them through the course of the year. And so they get a little bit taste of each Explore that's offered here in greater capacity in 7th and 8th grade. At the middle school level, we have an advisement intervention period. It involves a multitude of things. One can be silent reading and enrichment. Another is providing interventions. And interventions can be things like teachers providing reteaching of material or even just homework assistance during the day. It falls in the middle of the school day, Tuesday through Friday, and I'll talk about that when we get to our bell schedule. So Monday we have late start. That means that school starts for students at 9:15. The first bell rings at 9:10, and they are late if they're not in their classroom by 9:15 on Monday. There is no advisement during late start. And on Tuesday through Friday, school starts at 8:15. Again, the first bell rings at 8:10, and students would be tardy if they're not in their class by 8:15. We do have an advisement Tuesday through Friday, and a typical schedule looks something like this. Homework is something that you can expect to occur almost nightly. Most teachers do not assign homework on weekends. Occasionally they might have a project that's over a long term that might involve some weekend work, but generally speaking, teachers do not assign homework on weekends, just weeknights. We encourage especially sixth graders to use their student planners to keep track of the different assignments that are due. Teachers are generally very good about updating their websites as well as to what homework assignments are due, and give you information about the homework that is assigned. You can expect approximately an hour and a half of homework per night. We really follow some basic school rules at Day Middle School, and they are courtesy, respect, and responsibility. When students are following those rules, generally great things happen. We do believe that students are at the age of reason, and what we mean by that is by the time students get to sixth grade, they truly do know what is right and what is wrong. And so we're here to help train them and encourage them and make sure that they're making the right decisions. And because they're at that age, we do hold them accountable for their behaviors. One of the things that we do follow is a dress code. Our dress code is basically just must be whatever is appropriate to be worn at all times. We do want to have a learning atmosphere that's very positive here. We do have a few things that are very particular about. We do have students wear their hats facing forwards for sun protection. And the only time that we allow students to actually wear their hoods is if we have inclement weather, if it's extremely cold out in the morning or it's actually raining. Otherwise, students are not allowed to wear hoods on campus. It's for school safety. We can't identify who students are when they have their hoods on. We also maintain the rule that shoes must be worn at all times and sandals have back straps. This is in the event if students were need to run very quickly at any given time during an emergency or natural disaster. We want their shoes to stay on their feet. Please make sure you visit our school district website, and Board Policy 5132 does talk about what the dress code is. Electronic devices, if I may just take a moment, that I recognize almost every single student that comes to our campus has some form of electronic device, whether it's a flip cell phone or a smartphone, but just be aware that kids sometimes don't realize the extent and cost of those items. They just get them, and so they put them in places where they're easily accessible, and so it becomes a theft issue. We do want you to know that cell phones are never allowed out on campus. They may be used in a classroom with teacher permission, but we're very concerned because most smartphones, of course, can take pictures or gain images that would not be appropriate for a school environment. And so we never allow students to have them out on campus without permission. If a student has an emergency and they need to use their cell phone, they can either come to the office, or oftentimes students will come up and say, I need to contact my parent, I have something come up, can I pull my cell phone out? And of course we say yes right there, that's not a problem, but they're never allowed to just use them on their own without permission. We do offer various student support for all of our students. We do have a full-time health clerk who is here during school hours, and she can tend to any minor injuries, and if anything more serious happens, we do have a district nurse who comes to our campus twice a week, but of course if something were serious and she wasn't here, we always call 911 and then call parents. We do have 3 counselors on our campus, and they support students by the student's last name. Mrs. Krummeyer has A through L, and Mr. Bayaka has M through Z, and then Mr. Acosta has a specialized group of students that he supports as well. When you come to Day Middle School, every student will be issued an ID card, and that ID card serves several purposes. It allows you to check out any books for your classes, as well as any other books from the Media Center. It also allows you to check out play equipment at lunchtime and gain access to that equipment. And it allows you to purchase meals in our cafeteria. It makes a convenient way to scan a card and allow a child to get their meal for prepaid meals. We do have a wonderful morning announcement show run by Mr. Giroux. It happens during advisement class. It is a show that is run live but is recorded, and it does have the information for the day. It talks about specific things that are happening around campus, and students are able to watch that show in their advisement class to find out what's happening not just for that day but the next day's activities. Also, we oftentimes provide school news about upcoming events, and so it's a great source of information. And I just say to parents that you can access the morning show by going onto YouTube. There is a channel that you can subscribe to and watch the morning announcements Tuesday through Friday. And the shows are maintained for a week at a time, so it's always updating the next week's shows. We offer some special assemblies. We do have a Renaissance program and a Where Everybody Belongs program. It's our effort to recognize students who are making growth and achievement in their academics. We do awards and certificates for students who are part of our honor roll, and we do invite guest speakers to come and be a part of what we do to motivate students and hopefully help them to be as successful as possible. And those assemblies happen throughout the course of the school year. One of the ways we keep students really connected to school, and our ASB does a great job of developing these, are our spirit days. Students will dress up for different school spirit. We have Wacky Hair Day, Comfy Cozy Day, Sports Day, Twin Day, Hawaiian Day, and Decades Day. There's just a variety of things that we have for students to connect with our school and show their school spirit. I want to talk for a minute just about technology. As I already said, cell phones can be quite a distraction, and I'm sure you probably see that at home as well. But social media is a place that requires a certain amount of maturity and supervision, especially for students at the middle school level. And so I just caution parents, and one thing, I may be a little old school about this, but one thing that I have often said to parents of middle schoolers, I honestly cannot think of a reason why a child does need a smartphone. If it's for communication purposes, an emergency, then there are flip phones available. And I recognize that I'm probably speaking to a minority about that, but I just feel that we're giving students a computer in their hand that has access to so much information and things that they're not mature enough yet to handle. And there's so many apps out there, and I've only just put these 4 on here, but I know there's so many other new ones, and new ones pop up all the time that kids use to communicate, and sometimes those things are used to communicate inappropriate things. And so I just want to caution you, as your child gets into middle school, technology is going to play a big role and is going to require a lot of supervision and parenting. And that's one of the challenges we talk about. Even the best students are not perfect. They do make poor choices, and it's our job as a school and partnering with you as parents to help them make better choices. So 3 things just to keep our children from consistently making poor choices is, first of all, their own conscience of what is right and wrong. And that's what we talk about, the age of reason. The second, of course, is what your role, and that's the parenting. That kids do need parents at this age. Oftentimes, parents kind of view moving into middle school as a time to back off, so to speak. And I would just encourage you to stay connected with your child. It's a very important age for you and for them. And then thirdly, rules. One of the ways we keep children from consistently making poor choices is we do have boundaries. And those are rules that we have in place, hopefully to bring some sense of foundation of what is right and wrong, and that we act accordingly. In addition to those challenges, I just would ask, would you agree that our children do not come hardwired to obey us? I don't know about you, but I never had to teach my daughter or my son to lie or to be selfish or to cheat. It was something that kind of came naturally, and I had to correct them of it. And that's just the nature of children. And that's how they come to us. And so discipline really is training. It's correction. It's not really punishment. And really, when we administer discipline at our school, our end goal, our desire really is to change behavior. But discipline does involve consequences. And sometimes those consequences can range from a simple conference with an adult to talk about what has been done. And other times the consequences can become more severe. But our heart behind the discipline at our school is to change behavior. That's why we have discipline. One of the things discipline promotes is accountability. And with accountability, we want students to act responsibly. And one of the greatest reasons, or I should say not reasons, but one of the greatest issues that seems to have risen in our culture in the last few years is this concept or idea of bullying. And we often hear students reporting things as bullying, and we just want to make sure we're really clear about that definition of what it really is. It's when a group of people with more power repeatedly and intentionally cause hurt or harm to another person or group of people, and they feel helpless to respond. So it is an ongoing action. Bullying is not necessarily a one-time event. And so the one-time event is something that would be something different than bullying. Bullying is something that is ongoing. And so we do take that very seriously. and we respond to it whenever it's reported to us, and we want to give you that assurance that we do. But I will say that many middle school problems do arise simply over words. And so I often use this illustration with students about a cup of water or a flame. Across the street from our school, we have an open field that's part of the Meadowview community. And in the summer, it's quite dry and full of grass. And so I would say to students, their words can either be like this cup of water or like this little matchstick that's lit. And I say to the students, if I were to dump that water out into the field, would it flood the field? And of course, they would say no. And I said, if you brought that match to that same field and applied it to the grass there, what would happen? And they said, well, the whole field would catch fire. And so that's the illustration I use with students when they use hurtful words or have conversations or say things that are inappropriate. Their words become like that little matchstick that starts a whole flame that can burn a whole field down. And so we want our students to exercise self-control in the things that they say. And that would help them to avoid many of the problems that do occur at the middle school level. I hope this video was encouraging to you, that you had a lot of your questions answered. By no means is this the end of all. I'm sure you might have other questions, and as they arise, and when we return back to school next year, we will answer those questions as best as possible. In fact, we do hope that we might be able to provide more of a live presentation so that you can ask questions when we start our school year. In the meantime, I hope you have a great end of your 5th grade year, students and parents. A wonderful summer ahead. We look forward to you joining our Defender community.
Here we are in the band room. Mr. Brisky does a great job instructing students at all levels. So whether you're new to playing an instrument or you've been doing this for years, band is a great opportunity for you to join a year-long elective. Welcome to our multi-purpose room. Here we hold things like assemblies, band and choir performances, drama, and so much more. Mr. Souza, what else do we do here?
Well, our multi-purpose room has been renovated, and so you 6th graders are going to get the experience that a lot of our previous students have not had, and this is a beautiful multi-purpose room that's also used in the evenings for our awards ceremonies recognizing students with their parents. We also do after-school parties. We don't call them dances here because, to be quite honest with you, at middle school, very few students actually dance. We bring a ton of games in here, and we have a great time just having a party after school. Those parties go immediately following school at 2:45 and usually go to 4:15. And parents, I just want to assure you, we have full supervision in here. It's fully lit up. It's not a dark room, so it's a great environment for your children to have a little after-school fun at Day Middle School. I'm standing in our lunch area and just want to give you a little bit of background. So when you do come to campus and you are enjoying lunch on our campus, just know that all of our 6th graders eat lunch together in this area along with about half of our 7th graders. And I would encourage you, parents and students, for about the first week of school, that you pack a lunch and bring it with you, because there tends to be a little bit of confusion, a little bit of uncertainty, and so it can lead to longer lines of lunch. Right behind me is where it's called our speed line. You can get items a la carte, and over to my left over here, you can get items on a tray that's a full meal. And so we offer all of that for our students. Parents, if you are needing free and reduced lunch, you can go onto the district website and select that and get that for your child. If not, you're welcome to prepay a card for your child if you'd like them to get their food without having to carry money on campus. And during lunch, students are allowed to stay in this area the entire 30-minute lunch period. If they choose to, they can go out onto our athletic field once they're done eating, and we provide equipment for students to enjoy during lunch to get a little bit of energy out. Again, our lunches are 30 minutes, and we do have a break on campus. We don't call it recess, it's a break. And so it's a time where all of our kids are out on campus, and they are both lunch and break are fully supervised. We hope that helps you get acclimated to our lunch area and break times.
This is our PE locker room, and this is a place where when you have PE at the middle school level, all students do dress out using our PE uniforms. You're not required to purchase our uniforms, but all students are required to dress out for PE, and PE occurs every single day. I know it can be a little intimidating to come to a middle school and have to start undressing and changing in front of other people, but trust me, when everybody's doing it, no one's paying attention to you. And so we want just to alleviate any stress you might have. We do have supervision in our locker room. We do provide lockers and locks for each student so you can secure your belongings. And PE is a great place to expend that energy that you have at the middle school level.
Welcome to the DMS Choir Room. Here, Miss Landrum does an amazing job teaching both choir, which is a year-long course, and music appreciation, which is part of the 6th grade elective wheel.
Let's head into our media center. Our media center is a great place for kids to get together during break and lunch and even before school. And this is Mrs. Morales. She is our media tech. Ms. Morales, you want to tell us a little bit about the media center?
Yes, hi, as Mr. Sousa said, I'm Mrs. Morales. I'm the library media technician here. This is a stack of the books that you'll be getting during registration or the first week of school. And we look forward to seeing you here and you enjoying the library and our services.